with your experience, there are two types of basically employees or people inside the AIF. One is client facing, who
Correct.
gets money into the thing. Other is the
Correct.
research and who builds the portfolio.
Correct.
So in both these segments, what are the critical skills which you look out for people before you ask them that yes, you are now ready to move into this industry?
Very interesting question. I'm sharing my experience at least.
Right.
The only area where I am slightly disappointed, if I would use that word, is the front end part. Today's generation, I don't know with what illusion, everybody wants to do research, and everybody by and large feels that sales is a bad job to do, which is actually not so. I keep giving this example to youngsters when I get a chance to speak. That think about a situation like 2008 when the markets were really bad. The ones who were connected with the client were able to retain jobs, others lost.
Right.
Now, it is extremely important that as a salesperson, or even from a job security perspective, if you are there with the client in the tough times, you actually tend to do far better.
So you should be a revenue center rather than a cost center.
Not necessarily revenue centric. You should at least be relationship centric.
Right. That's a
Revenue
one.
could be byproduct.
Right.
The organization may not be focusing on revenue, it could be focusing on something else. Asset growth could be there, customer base expansion could be one of the factor. So whatever the organizational goal would be is fine to me.
Right.
But you should not shy out of talking to people. What I don't like about the front end new generation is that they are shy in terms of getting into those kind of roles. While they are otherwise very flamboyant, suddenly you put them on the stage, they will do excellent job in terms of everything. They are excellent in their communication skills. If you are excellent in communication skills, you have basic inherent mindset of research, then why can't you do sales?
Right.
Sales is not a bad job. But somewhere I feel that the younger generation, the recent college pass outs and all, they feel that research is the best thing to do. You want to sit in the office, continuously work in front of the screen, and you don't want to do anything else. That might not work.
Okay.
So for the front end, I'm slightly critical. Those who have a real good aptitude for research, the growth is like extraordinary. Growth is great even for the front end because you need, and without sales, the function of the organization will not work. The only risk factor in that front-ending side is some part which was earlier done by the traditional sales is taken over by digital today. Research, digital, still we are some time away. So from that perspective, I believe that affinity towards research is possibly because of that reason also.
Okay.
But the growth opportunities are like decent enough.
Right. But number of jobs available in sales vis-a-vis research, what would be the ratio?
Actually, to a lot of people's surprise, sales will require much more number of people
Right.
than research.
Right.
Right? Because the opportunity for growth of an organization in research, if I put 5 people or 10 people, I will not have the same elasticity into business.
Right.
In very simple, little crude terms, if I were to say, it's a teeth to tail ratio which people talk about.
Right.
Teeth will have its own value at any given point of time.
Right.
So our take is that if somebody is open to the idea of being front end and is willing to take up that challenge, and if that he or she is able to survive for 2 years, then the growth rate in that segment could be extraordinary.
So that means you have a easier chance to get into the industry if you are sales oriented.
Correct. Very
Right.
true.
Right. Right. That's a great answer, and people should remember
Absolutely,
that.
yes.
Right. And
Absolutely, yes.
and somehow
And it's not a bad and a demeaning job by any means.
no way, no way.
Without sales, nothing works.
And here it's more advisory, relationship centric.
Absolutely.
It's not
Absolutely.
knocking doors and doing cold calls and all those
Correct.
stuff. It's not that kind of.
You're not lying. You're narrating facts.
Right.
You're
Right.
talking about the product, you're describing the product, so it's not, see, somewhere I also go to the extent saying that there is some degree of integration which is happening now. research without knowing the basics of front ending is a little poor research, because you might be in, it's great to be an academician, but an academician also needs an audience.
Right.
So a researcher is supposed to know a little bit about front ending.
Right.
The front end person, if he doesn't know research, he will be a poor person in front of the end investor.
Right. Right.
So it's no longer two compartments completely, that one is research and one is front
some
end.
convergence
There
happening.
is a convergence.
Right.
The more convergence ratio you are able to build, you will be more successful.
Right. And you are much more demanded.
Precisely.
Right. Great answer, sir. That was precisely what I was
Absolutely,
looking at.
this is what we are seeing in the market.
Right.